Trump is a great one for conspiracy theories. The US president, this is what we have seen at least from 1940s onwards. They have been ordering the deaths of millions of people, whether their own citizens or people outside. And nobody knows why they invaded Iraq. Even the Americans do not know why they invaded Iraq. What the Iraqis had to do with 9/11 is zero. Jai Hind friends, I'm Major Gaurav Arya and you're watching the CHANAKYA Dialogues English. Like this video, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Much is happening in the US elections and apparently Trump has said the same thing about Nikki Haley that he said about Barack Obama. Now, I'll tell you what he said about Barack Obama. He said that Obama was never born in the United States of America. The fact of the matter is that Barack Obama was born in Hawaii. Hawaii is a US state, it's part of the United States of America, and the condition to be a US president, one of the first conditions, the primary conditions of being a US president is that you should have been born in the USA. If you're not born in the USA, you can't be the president of the United States. Now, here is the problem. It's very easy to get hold of a person from a minority or a person from a different color and say that you were never born here. And it's easy for a lot of people, who are not open-minded, a lot of them to believe in this conspiracy theory. And this is exactly what Donald Trump did against Barack Obama. Now, I don't hold a brief for Barack Obama. I think he did a lot of wrong stuff, which we will sort of discuss later. Much of it has been brought out by Trump, but I've been saying this again and again for a long period of time. I mean, Barack Obama is no saint, but the fact of the matter is that he was born in the US. Nobody can dispute that fact. He was born in the US, and initially when Donald Trump felt that he was lagging behind, or Donald Trump felt that he could not get the better of Barack Obama. And I'm not talking about an election here. I'm generally saying fight on the social media, a confrontation on mainstream media, or somebody passing a comment like that. So the first thing anybody would say was that, hey, Obama was born in Kenya. That is because Obama's father was a Kenyan. Obama's full name, Barack Hussein Obama is his full name. His father was a Kenyan Muslim. He married a Christian lady. Later on, Barack Obama, after birth, Barack Obama's father, abandoned the Obama family. He went back to Kenya, leaving a wife and a child here. Child, of course, Barack was the child. And then Barack Obama was brought up by his mother. He was raised a Christian. He was raised a Catholic, and he was baptized properly and everything was done. And then Barack Obama, being born in the United States of America, then he became a Chicago politician, he was a councilman, etc., etc. Then he rose up to the ranks, fought the elections, and became the president of the United States. Now, everybody knows this. This is well documented. There is documentary evidence to prove that he was. But you know what gives Donald Trump the stick to beat a person like Barack Obama with? And again, I'm saying I'm no Obama fan. But what Trump said was wrong. And we must call out Trump when he says something wrong. Call out anybody. And I'm going to call out Obama also, by the way. A few minutes down the line, I'm going to call out Obama, and very badly so. But the fact of the matter is, he was born in the US, and this is something that Trump tried to prove time and again, because that is the only thing that he had against Obama. Now, Obama, immensely articulate and cold-blooded also, which I'll come to later. Now, he's done the same with Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley is the daughter of immigrant parents. And Trump is a great one for conspiracy theories. The reason why I spoke about Obama was, and this is exactly what Nikki Haley said. She said that Trump had done the same thing with Obama that he's now doing with Nikki Haley. He's saying that Nikki Haley was not born in the United States of America. This is nonsense. Of course she was born in the United States of America. Her parents came from outside, but she was born in the US. Now, this is something that people have against Trump. And now, how does he attack Nikki Haley? So Trump started this, ladies and gentlemen, by deliberately misspelling her name and mispronouncing it. Her name is Nimrata, Nikki Haley, and he called her Nimrata. All right? Anyone listening to Nikki Nimrata Haley's whacked out speech last night would think she won the Iowa primary. She didn't. And she couldn't even beat. Now, this is what Trump does, She couldn't even beat a very flawed Ron DeSanctimonious. I think Trump is very funny. Trump is funny. She couldn't even beat a very flawed Ron DeSanctimonious, who's out of money and out of hope. Now, Ron DeSantis is governor of Florida and he's running for president, and he's just behind Trump. So this is what Trump does. Now, parents were indeed Indian citizens and she was born in Bamberg, South Carolina, later became a naturalized US citizen. They later became naturalized, her parents, Nikki Haley's parents. And as per law, anyone born on US soil is eligible to run for president, of course. Now, Nikki Haley responded by saying that, Trump is insecure. Trump is insecure. Why should Trump be insecure? Beats me because he got more than 50% of the votes in Iowa and he defeated everybody. But insecurity is a state of mind. You could have less money and you could still be secure. And you could be a billionaire and still be very insecure. I don't think it's got anything to do with success, though it improves your chances or increases your chances of being secure. In case of Trump, clearly it doesn't matter. And Trump says that, Haley's response is that she's reacted to Trump's racist remarks and the former president was threatened and insecure. That is what she said. I know President Trump well. That's what he does when he feels threatened and that's what he does when he feels insecure. Right? Now, there is also this research on, what the US Constitution says. Article 2 of the Constitution sets eligibility rules for presidents. And they say that you must be 35 years old, must have lived in the US for at least 14 years, and they must be a natural born citizen. The 14th Amendment says that anyone born in the US automatically becomes an American citizen. Now, there is another thing that Trump said. I'm going to read that out. It's important that I read out from the piece of paper because I don't want to sort of misquote anyone, and least of all a US president or a former US president, but either one needs to be accurate. So here is what Trump said. And he called Obama and Biden a murderer while talking about presidential immunity. He said, I'm not talking about myself, I'm talking about how any president has to have immunity, because if you take immunity away from the president, it's so important. You will have to be a president that's not going to be able to do anything. So essentially what Trump here is saying is that, listen, if you take away the system of immunity from the president, when the president does something, he needs to have constitutional immunity. If he does not do that, then you'll have a president who doesn't do anything. Because the US president, this is what we have seen at least from 1940s onwards, they have been ordering the deaths of millions of people, whether their own citizens or people outside the country. They just pass an executive order and wars are started and people are killed, innocent people who didn't know why the Americans were in the country in the first place. That is what happens with US presidents. Now, Obama dropped missiles and they ended up hitting a kindergarten or a school or an apartment house. A lot of people were killed. This is what he's saying, Trump is saying, and this is true, by the way. Here, I'm with Trump. What he's saying is correct. A New York Times report from 2019 said Obama administration had estimated between 64 and 116 civilians killed in 542 airstrikes. Trump later suggested Biden may have even a larger case for retaining presidential immunity. He's killed our country with his policies. The order is a disaster. Everything he does is a disaster. What he did in Afghanistan is the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. And Trump added that he's also confident the Supreme Court will overturn the removal of his name from the ballot in Colorado and Maine. Basically, what Trump is saying, let me explain this to you. And it's not just about, ordering drone strikes. Look at George Bush. He's clearly missed out George Bush. Maybe because Bush was a Republican. And he's clearly missed out George Bush, both father and son. Now, what has happened is that it was not Obama alone. It is every single US president after the Second World War. One after the other, ladies and gentlemen, they have been launching wars. And this is what Trump is trying to say. And what he's saying is right. They invaded Iraq after 9/11. And nobody knows why they invaded Iraq. Even the Americans do not know why they invaded Iraq. What the Iraqis had to do with 9/11 is zero. Iraqis didn't know there was a 9/11. Saddam Hussein had no clue about 9/11. But they just invaded Iraq because the country was angry, understandably so. America was attacked, they were angry, but this is the worst kind of racial profiling ever. I mean, Arabs, they're all the same. If one attacks us, let's kill everybody. This is the kind of mindset that is so damaging. The Iraqis had nothing to do with it. The Afghan people had nothing to do with it. Yes, Mullah Omar did keep Osama bin Laden as a guest. Pashtuns have this problem. Anybody who comes to their house, whatever kind of person is he, has their protection. That is Pashtunwali, that is their culture, that is their ethos, their tradition. And they live and die by that tradition, most of the Pashtuns. Not the modern ones, but the traditional ones at least live with this. And when he came asking for sanctuary, when he came asking to be protected, Mullah Omar, I'm sure he had his political reasons also. I'm not saying he did not. I'm not saying his intentions were pure. But publicly, you cannot say no to a guest in the Afghan tradition. Whoever that guest may be. Even if they say that Afghans will not kill an enemy if he comes inside their home. If an enemy comes inside their home asking for shelter, an Afghan will not kill his enemy. So that, I mean, you have to uphold tradition since you're born in that area. So, you see what happened was that Afghanistan was destroyed. Libya had nothing to do with 9/11. Libya was destroyed. Gaddafi was hanged. Gaddafi should have been hanged anyway. Gaddafi was a crook. But he should have been hanged, or Gaddafi should have been shot or whatever, however, he was disposed of. That is immaterial. Like, for example, how Saddam Hussein was disposed of. He was hanged, but how he was disposed of is immaterial. It was the Iraqi people or the Libyan people who should have done it, not the Americans. They come barreling down the road, they kill whomsoever they want, and they have absolute immunity. And nobody can say anything to the American president. You see, this kind of unbridled power is so dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. This is exactly what Trump is saying. Look at Obama. Obama sanctions the death of thousands of people. Hundreds are killed in drone strikes. Entire wedding parties. Kindergarten is what Trump said. Wedding parties were wiped out on a signature of Barack Obama. You see? And I don't even think he signed. He just said, okay, don't disturb me. I'm having coffee here. Just kill them all. People were killed. And you know what happened to Obama? He got the Nobel Peace Prize. Just imagine now. How can any US president get the Nobel Peace Prize? Anyone. These guys have decimated nations on a whim. And if you ask them, why did you attack? They don't even have a why. So, hundreds of thousands of people killed in Iraq. Nobody knows why. Till date, nobody knows why. Iraq was invaded a few weeks after 9/11 happened. Ask any American today, why was Iraq invaded? He will say, I don't know. Why was Libya invaded? He'll say, no, I don't know. They don't know, but they have killed thousands of people. And nothing happens to their presidents. Most of these presidents, I'm not saying all of them, most of them are war criminals actually, American presidents. They've killed innocent people here. They've killed innocent people. You can't just enter a country like that and, create a mess and then walk out. They've done that to Afghanistan. It's so shameful. So this is what Trump is talking about. I just hope that Trump comes to his senses. He talks a lot of nonsense sometimes. Sometimes he talks a lot of sense, but sometimes it's utter nonsense here. And I think you should stop saying it, because if he wants to become the most powerful man in the world, you can't get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and start tweeting about any Tom, Dick and Harry. It does not behove the president or the office of the President of the United States of America. With that, I come to the end of this video today, ladies and gentlemen, and now for some question and answers. And I have a few of them here. And the first one is from Souvik Day. Jayan Souvik. He says, West and America use Ukraine as a puppet state. So in future, if America invades Afghanistan again, do you think America will use Pakistan again? If that happens, what should the Indian position be on that? Souvik ji, Jai Hind. Yes, America will use, if America wants to go into Afghanistan, America will use Pakistan for two reasons. It's convenient, and two, Pakistan is willing. All America has to do is write a nice check, and Pakistan will put the Pakistanis are going to put Pakistan at their service here. So yes, and what should India do about it? Well, if two sovereign countries want to make a deal, what can India do about it? And what should India do about it? It's Pakistan's wish. If they're happy to get sold to the Americans, or to the Chinese, or to the Emiratis, or to the Saudis, or to World Bank, or to IMF, who cares? It's all upon Pakistan, but it's just going to unsettle the region more, because the Americans will come, they'll do their work, they'll leave. The Pakistani generals will make a lot of money. Pakistani military bureaucracy will make a lot of money. They'll settle down in London and in Dubai, and they'll leave Pakistan in a bigger mess than they found it in. Shakti Keswan. Jayan sir. Jayan Shakti ji. There is a war brewing in our backyard between Iran and Pakistan. Unfortunately, Pakistan has nuclear weapons. I did some digging and found that US has a secret plan to secure Pakistan's nuclear arsenal. Since they found out that Pakistan has been sheltering bin Laden in China, has no objections with it, as Pakistan has been harboring Uyghur separatists. Should we get involved in the nuclearization of Pakistan? Won't it be in our interest to have one less nuclear neighbor so we can divert all our resources and attention towards China? Had it been so easy to denuclearize Pakistan, America would have done it long back. That is the point of nuclear weapons. Once you have nuclear weapons, it's difficult to touch you. I'm not saying impossible, I'm saying it's difficult. Again, the problem with Pakistan is not that the nuclear weapons will fall into the hands of Al-Qaeda or Islamic State or Taliban. That is not the problem. They will never fall into the hands of terrorist outfits. The problem with Pakistan is that their army itself is an army of terrorists. Their army supports Taliban. There are elements in the army who are sympathetic to Al-Qaeda and Islamic State. It is the same thing. Islamic State is an ideology. Al-Qaeda is an ideology. And if you have a general in the Pakistani army or a brigadier in the Pakistani army who has the ideology of an Al-Qaeda or the Islamic State, then that general is automatically Al-Qaeda or Islamic State. That general is Daesh. That general is Al-Qaeda. You don't have to see, it's Al-Qaeda or Islamic State are not, showrooms with a neon light blazing outside. These are ideologies. These are ideologies, and this is why Pakistan's nuclear weapons are in danger. Not because somebody can attack and take them, because somebody has already taken them and that person is ideologically aligned with Al-Qaeda. That is the problem in Pakistan. The third question is from Manjeet Singh. Jai Hind sir, Jai Hind Manjeet ji. I am an NDA aspirant. मैं NDA aspirant हूँ and ये मेरा exam year है. My question is, as we can see, different parts of the world are engaged in wars and now it's crept into our neighboring countries. So this is going to affect India in any way? If yes, what are the possible impacts and how to tackle them? I don't think it will impact India. You're talking about Pakistan and Iran. I don't think it's going to impact India. A little bit maybe in J&K, in the area of 15 core and 16 core. Yes, to some limited extent, depending on how this war. If it stops now, there is no impact. If it balloons out of control, it's got a different impact. If there is a naval angle to this, if there is a naval angle to the clash between Pakistan and Iran, then there is a totally different angle to it. So the angles will keep on changing along with how there is, may I call it, horizontal escalation of the conflict, right? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this video. And if you like this video, press the like button, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.